It's 55 degrees down here.
Is it? Nice. All right, let me see. Let me cut my volume on YouTube. We are live, and let me just wait kind of for things to catch up here. It takes a few minutes. Let's see. Once I see our mouse moving on the YouTube thing, I know we're live. Okay, great. We're live. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. This is EZU Homes University. This is our Deal of the Month interviews that we're going to go over every month, typically the first Wednesday of the month. What we want to do is we just kind of want to go through the top, the top deals that the guys were able to score and just give you guys an idea of what's available out in the market, even during this pandemic, which hopefully things start resorting back to normal and opportunities are abound. They just abound everywhere. And so you have to be strategic in how you find those. And we see a lot of other people in the mobile home industry, mobile home investing industry. And there's a lot of work that y'all are putting in some of these, contracts and rentals and trying to fix things and all that goes into it. And there's an easier model. And EZU Homes University is very unique. The unique proposition that EZU Homes University is able to present to the world is a way to move inventory that doesn't require a lot of that. In fact, we had shared a video earlier this week about one of the comments that Dan Payton had made about a home that he had flipped and sold it within 48 hours. We had to take it down because there was a glitch in it, but we'll be putting it back up. And there are a few comments on that as well. There's some great opportunities. But I'm here with Dan Payne and Dan Layton, partners and owners of EZU Homes. Glad to have you guys.
Yeah, good to be here.
Thanks.
And Dan Layton, you're on your way. You're in Dayton, Ohio. Are you going to look at a place? Is that what you're doing now?
Yeah, we're going to go actually look at 10 homes.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm making a road trip, spend the night down there, and found out the hotels are allowing that. So I'm on my way.
Wow, 10 homes. It's going to be are you going to be looking at those today or over the next today and tomorrow?
I'll probably look at 7 of them today and 3 tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they grouped together or are they spread out?
They're in 7 of them are in one park, and then 3 are in another park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, great. So what we want to talk about today with you guys is just an idea of leads and really going over the unique opportunities that have been coming up and some of the best deals that they got again for the month of April. And this is helpful. How is this helpful to you? I personally would like to see, as I'm running the Instagram stuff and I see a lot of folks out there in the market. One thing about Dan and Dan that's unique in the wholesale market as a whole, again, and it can't be overstated, is the speed of the transaction. You could make several $1,000s on a land on a contract, whatever that contract might be, however you create it over the course of a year, or you can flip a home in as little as 48 hours and make the same amount of money, if not more. And so the one is very difficult to scale versus the other. They all have their own challenges. So I just briefly want to talk to you guys about the homes. As we're going to go over 3 homes. We're going to talk about the prices you bought them for, what you plan on selling them for and or have sold them for. You guys pick some 3 good ones. I guess let's start with leads. To me, leads is the lifeblood of a company. A lot of people that are getting into this market, they're going to learn how to invest in mobile homes, but they need leads. What are some ways that EZU Homes utilizes? What are some tactics, some mediums that you guys use to get leads?
I can jump in on that one. I guess there's probably three different paths that we that we use predominantly. And one is our search engine optimization, which we contract you, Gary, to help us with that.
Yep.
And that's probably where we get majority of our leads. In fact, according to our stats, that's about where half of our conversions come from, and where we, from that source. And then another source is we use direct mail, and we can align with, and we are aligning with partners. In fact, we're just now doing a May direct mail campaign that will target 60,000 mobile homeowners in approximately 10 states around the country, and we're partnering with about 10 people to in that effort. And there's different ways to partner where you can help financially with the marketing yourself, or we can on the front end, or we can help. You can help invest on the back end if depending on your financial situation. So that's another way. And then we use referrals is probably, like Dan Layton is going to look at 10 homes, and that really funneled through a referral and a relationship opportunity. So those are the three primary ways. So again, it's search engine optimization, Google, owning that Google space, direct mail, and then referrals.
Yeah, that's a great synopsis. And then for those of you who are thinking through what are the easiest ways to, which ones should I be jumping into? I'll just say on the just to be forthright, SEO is really expensive and it takes a long time. So to try to dominate a market, Google only has so many page ones, and you have to compete with everyone that's trying to do that. That's not the easiest one, but you can start. One way to start is to get your website up and to begin writing content specifically in your geographical area. But again, that's the long road. That's not overnight. We weren't able to just, say, okay, let's get SEO targeted traffic tomorrow. We sign the contract one day, tomorrow's the next day. It's a very long game, and it's a lot like compound interest, but it's becoming more and more competitive. So it's expensive. One way that you can navigate through that is utilizing something like PPC, pay-per-click ads.
Right.
You can get an ad up in Google today or tomorrow, set a fund aside, and start doing that yourself and start getting leads that way. Partner with other people, Easy Homes, for instance. They have leads that sometimes they're not buying in those states. And so you could always reach out to these guys and see a specific state that you might be interested in. Everybody that signs up for Easy Homes University is in the family, if you will. They're a partner, and we avail any resource that we can to assist you in getting leads. And there's a lot of these strategic opportunities for you. But really, before we get into what the deals of the month were, I think it's important that everybody understands, once you understand how to be in mobile home investing, you then have the challenge of trying to find the leads. Another way, which we didn't talk about, but I think our experience is really competitive, is Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very competitive.
Yeah, maybe you're in a rural enough area to where it's not super competitive, but we're finding, within a few hours of something going up on Facebook Marketplace, they've been contacted by half a dozen other wholesalers.
Right. Yeah. We had a good example of that yesterday, where it was out for about an hour on Facebook Marketplace, and the seller already had a couple of appointments set, and that home was gone within a few hours.
Right. So you have to at least be thinking of this. This is one thing that we want everyone to just at least be aware of as you're learning the investment part of things. You need to, your primary goal is to be a marketer of the thing you do. So if you're a mobile home investor, you're a market of buying and selling mobile homes. So you need to think about, how am I going to accumulate leads? What are the processes and systems? We can help with that. There are other ways to help. You can go to easyhomesuniversity.com. We're sharing content. You can go, you're on our YouTube channel. You can look through some of that to see some of the strategies that are in place as well. So, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into some of these. Now, I see we have a few people watching on YouTube. As more people come in, we're going to go maybe another 10 minutes on these deal of the month. It's not going to be a full 30-minute show, probably about 20-ish minutes. So if you have questions, there's that comment section over in the corner. Please feel free to utilize that and get your questions answered while you're on. So let's start with deal number 1 here. This is a home in Macomb, Michigan. This is a 16 by 60. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1994 home selling for $7,500. You guys want to give us a little backstory of where you found this home, what you paid for it, and what you hope to get from it?
Sure. That home came because of, I believe that was a postcard, a direct mailer, and they called us. They had purchased a new home and really wanted to get out of it. I'd asked them, really what they wanted to get for it, and she'd given me a number, in the $2,000 or $3,000 range, and I knew right then and there that it was, something we'd be interested in. And then I scheduled a time to go check it out. Walked in and saw some of the issues. They had a soft wall, some soft spots, but leak in one part of the roof that wasn't too bad. And I know the park very well. We do good business with them, so I felt comfortable, very comfortable, entertaining buying it before I ever even walked into the park. And then I just basically asked them, listen, what do you really have to get? I mean, this, and she just was like, I just want to get out of this. And, right then and there, I knew, well, okay, that's kind of the answer we love to hear. And, she said, how about $500? And I said, would you take 3? And she just looked at me and said, sure. So I bought it for $300. And matter of fact, I just paid lot rent the other day on it, and the lot rent was like $630. So I've spent twice as much on lot rent on 1 month than I did on the home.
Right, right.
So we're going to sell that. I got it up for $7,500. So the park is going to look at it to retain it, but that home should be able to garner the around $7,000 pretty easy. Even if I took 6,000, I'm way ahead of the game. I'm going to make a $5,000 margin if I just took 6. So
this is so important. Just once again stressing the importance of the speed of the transaction here. Being able to buy this over the past, this past month, and to be able to flip it from a $600 to $900 investment and sell it for $6,000 to $7,000, and not having to fix it up, not having to be involved in the move or anything like that. It's just a game changer, which kind of goes back to some of the previous shows when we actually talked about the different markets that are available and why you guys are in the one you're in. And this is just another clear example of
Yep.
that. Really quick, it says you mentioned first right of refusal. What does that mean for the buyer if somebody's interested in this?
Why don't you take that one, Dan, if you don't mind?
Yeah, first right of refusal really is a kind of a stipulation that park owners put on their residents, and it essentially says to the resident, we have first right to purchase your home when you're in the market trying to sell your home. So if an offer comes in to the resident and they accept an offer, the park really has an opportunity to match that offer so that they, have an opportunity to retain the home and keep it from leaving the park. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what it is. It's a stipulation in a lease agreement where the park has at least a shot at retaining the home so that it doesn't get pulled out of their park. Because when they lose a home, they lose revenue.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's kind of a clause that they put in to help protect their park from losing homes. There's a way to navigate that first right of refusal. We do it pretty good job at it, and it would take a lot more time to go through that in a separate video, and we can
Yeah.
do that. And I think we've done that in some of our training courses.
Yeah, I think we have too. Yeah. Yeah. And so, in fact, yeah. So if you are a student of Easy Homes University, that we have a module that just kind of walks through the steps to create a unified relationship with parks. I mean, that's another unique aspect of wholesaling where you could go terribly wrong and try to navigate underneath parks instead of alongside of them and just burn bridges left and right.
Right.
Well said.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. Actually, really quick, you mentioned this was through a mailer, and I think what's important to know too is, and again, you know, if you this isn't to just pitch fest Easy Homes University, but one of the things we do with partners, as you mentioned, is when somebody comes on, they're working in a state and they want assistance. One of the things that happens is we're able to come alongside of them and partner with those mailers, be able to accumulate the list. Because you got to figure out, if you want to do a postcard, that's one way to get leads. Do a postcard to local parks and see if anybody's interested. In fact, one of the ways you guys got started, you can go to our YouTube channel, watch Mobile Home Investing 101 to hear some of this backstory. But you guys ran ads in the newspaper back in the day. And so there are other ways to get leads. The question is, do you want to learn on your own dollar and through your own mistakes? Or do you want, you know, somebody that can come alongside of you, help you learn, where do I get the list? How do I know who to send it to? How do I get the cheapest postage on those mailers? There's a lot of opportunities available through Easy Homes University that will assist you in doing some of that. But regardless if you chose to do that or not, mailers is an effective tool. And I would argue it's even more effective nowadays because everybody is geared toward digital, which is good in many ways. There's a lot more trackability available there to some degree. But the point is you can go into mailboxes where a lot of people left.
Yeah.
Next home we have is from Ypsilanti, Michigan, and the price tag on this one is $12,900. It's a 28 by 40, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1999 Skyline.
Yeah, that was a home that I believe that one was also a direct mailer, if my memory serves me right. And they contacted us, and basically they were buying a new home as well. So two of the people so far were buying new homes, and nice young couple. And it's in a park that I don't recall buying a home in before, but that doesn't really stop us for the most part. And so I went over and took a look at it. We agreed. The guy was very forthright about the issues with the home. Matter of fact, he even took $500 off for something that he forgot to tell me, and which I thought was, you know, very upright of him. But we ended up buying that. I think it was like $5,000. We're just waiting for them to exit the home. They're going to close due to the COVID. They're not going to close for another, probably in early June. But the good news is we put it up, and we already have an accepted buyer on it who offered us $12,000. So we accepted that, and the park will get their first right of refusal on that, and we broadcast that to them. Mm-hmm. And so we're just going to wait for the resident to get out, give the park a chance to check it out, and if they pass, we sell it for 12. If they agree, we sell it for 12. So we know what our outcome is already. So it's a win-win-win, and the park's going to win if they keep it. The seller obviously won, and Easy Homes wins. So that's what I love about, where we are going to honor their first right of refusal to the letter. So, but in this case, it looks like it's going to be a $7,000 margin.
Yeah. I think a couple things there is too, to recognize that there's a couple things going on from a economic perspective. Interest rates are at lows that we'll never see again in the history of our life.
Right.
So what does that mean for sellers? That means they want to, if they're going to buy a home, there's never been a time more attractive than right now.
Good point. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
So some motivated sellers, because they can acquire that next property for a lot less money
Yep.
in terms of financing.
Yep. All right. And another point here is too, like postcards, just as a reminder, like you guys have sent postcards out over years and have gotten responses of people that put them in a drawer and pulled them out 2 years later and made the call.
10 years later, even.
10 years later. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. So they do have a longevity to them
Yep. Yep.
if they hold on to them, right?
Yep. That's right. All right. Let's talk about the last one here. This is a 34 Sunshine Row. This is going for 10.9, a 16 by 76, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1995 Southern Homes.
I think it's one thing to acknowledge on this one is the location of this home.
Oh yeah, Manny, is that how you say it?
Yep, Manny, Louisiana.
Yep.
So I think I want to make it clear that, we can buy and sell homes almost anywhere in the country.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you guys bought this home and you guys did not travel to Manny.
I did not. We did not. So Dan, this is a good story. Dan can. I said Danny because of Manny, but but Danny, tell us how you did handle Manny.
It was a great. This one was an SEO fine. We don't mail to Louisiana yet, but that will change.
That's true. There's actually a 10,000 piece mailer targeting Louisiana in the very short term here.
Yep. And the reason why we are even entertaining that is because one of our partners that signed up, his name is John, but he signed up on EZU and immediately went through the curriculum. And then since he's down in that area, when we found a lead on SEO, of course, we wanted to partner with John. So we coached him on this lead. I talked to the seller a little bit. He talked to them, sent them out to review it, make sure he could take a good look at what was going on there. And he took photos, met the people. The sellers were very impressed with John. He was very polite. I guess it's that Southern hospitality and that Louisiana drawl or whatever that's going on down there. But they just loved him. And he's a school teacher, and lo and behold, he's of course quarantined. And so he looked at how to make a little extra bucks, and he signed up. So I sent him down there. We negotiated, bought that home for $4,250. And the people wanted to sell it because they wanted to purchase a new, a new mobile home, basically on to replace that one. So Mama wanted to have a brand new double wide, and she had ordered it. And as soon as she ordered it and it was coming in, they had to get rid of that. So it's on private land, not in a park, and that causes some some extra things you got to look for. Obviously, one of the things is, can it be removed? So we looked at that, the satellite view, and John went out and looked at it as well to see the accessibility of getting that out, which it was fine. But we ended up selling that locally to someone, and they paid $10,000. We actually had 3 different people bidding against each other, all dancing around the $10,000, $10,500 range. So we knew we had a winner. There was no lot rent that needed to be owed, no taxes. Those were all done. And we had a very motivated seller that wanted to get that home off the lot. So I took that deal on with a little bit of trepidation that it had to be out of there by May 8th. And we're right during the COVID up here. And so I took a leap of faith saying, okay, let's do this. We usually like to have 45 to 60 or longer days to get a home off private property, or even a park. But lo and behold, we talked to the people. The guy actually worked for a mover in the past, and so I talked to the mover as well, and they had that thing gone 3 days after we agreed and signed an agreement.
Wow.
So everybody won on that. As a matter of fact, I was a little shocked how quickly they moved it, but
Yeah.
but it's off. The seller's happy, the new buyer's happy. John is extremely happy because he made a very handsome commission on that, and he can't wait to look for his next deal and is very active looking at them. So I remember Dan when it was he was saying on this home, he goes, man, I was kind of holding my breath because it was a metal on metal, which means a metal sided metal roofed home, and we took a leap of faith on that, right, Dan, about buying it for what we did.
Yeah, that and that's a different market in Louisiana, and so it's much more common to see metal sided and metal roofed homes down there. And we're not used to that as much up here in the Midwest. That home doesn't have the same appeal as it does down there in Louisiana. It's a totally different market. So it's kind of an experience to try to get acclimated to these different markets. We're pleasantly surprised about the response of buyers that came in to try to buy this home. So that gives us the confidence to really market more heavily in Louisiana.
Yeah, for the inventory.
John happens to be located strategically right in the center of the state, but so he can get out to pretty much every part of the state pretty easily. But we're looking for opportunities to partner with people in Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia, Florida, the Carolinas. So if you're listening to this and you're in some of those states, Tennessee,
Kentucky,
Oklahoma, Kentucky, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, you jump on, because we could use you, partner up with you, and start putting some money in your pocket.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, so looking at this house, I'm assuming you guys, once again, I'm going to just bust some chops here. You guys had to pull out your sprayers and your paintbrushes and clean this thing up and get it ready for the new residents, and pull out the carpet, get the skirting fixed. That cost you guys a couple of weeks of work there.
Yeah, I think we spent $5 on the air fresheners to put in there. And actually John actually gave $5 to the seller, and he went to the dollar store and got them and put them in. So John actually didn't even do it. I mean, just to be straight with you guys, I mean, that was we actually negotiated with the seller up front to have the deck removed, because you'll probably see on those pictures it has an awning and a deck. We don't like to deal with those because they're very costly, and we make a request typically all the time to have sellers remove those. We don't usually take sheds on a property like that. That one didn't have one. And we actually asked them to please, remove the debris in front of the house, cut down some, sapling trees and all that. And he did that. Sometimes we might even ask him to remove the skirting, disassemble steps or whatever. And, even clean the driveway of any branches that might be, hanging down that would scar the home as a toter would come in. So we people might say, well, that's pretty bold. We're trying to make it easy on everybody, and if they're motivated to get that home off, they probably have the tools and the tractors and nephews and uncles and neighbors that can help them. It's not that big of a request. They can burn it right on their property probably, or give it away. But we don't like to deal with those. That just means extra money and extra burden.
Right.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough to those of you who are listening. And some of the opportunities that you're going to have are land contracts or purchasing these homes, fixing them up, and then getting some renters in there. And clearly understand the pull in that direction. But could you imagine making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 or more in a few days without having to actually see or touch the house ever?
Right.
I mean, that's significantly different.
I think there's an internal instinct to fix homes up. And Dan and I, we did a lot of rehabs on hundreds of homes early on in our career, before we really discovered this, buy as is, sell as is model.
Mhm.
And but I understand that desire to fix things up,
Mhm.
dusty up a home. It's just something that's kind of built into our way of thinking.
Yeah.
And we watch a lot of home improvement shows where that's the concept, right? Ours is really, now we still do some fix up and rehab type deals, but just not nearly as many as we used to. And so buy as is, sell as is, get your money out of the deal in 30 days or less. That's the model that we're promoting.
Yeah. And in full transparency, somebody is fixing it up. It's just not you guys.
It's just not us, right?
Yeah. So the buyers are
we,
bringing these in. Yeah.
we take the posture that you know what you want better than what we think we know what you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint those walls antique white, and I'm going to put a taupe carpet in. And and if you have a want, or you don't like earth tones, or maybe you got allergies and carpet just holds dander, you want to put laminate down, or I don't know. But the bottom line is, you get to choose. But if I spend the money, I'm going to want my money and my investment back. And then on top of that, I want to make a little bit on my investment on top of that.
Right.
So if someone goes, oh, I just hate taupe carpet, I want Berber, I want plush, I want whatever. You're like, well,
point.
sorry.
Yeah.
So you get to choose. And, we know our competition sometimes do it a different way, and that's awesome. And they're successful at doing that. This is just the way we do things. And, you get to choose too. If you buy your own homes, you'll get to choose which way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We try to minimize the hold time and the amount of money that is, that we're investing into a property, because it's the time value of money is important too, in terms of the ROI.
Yeah. And lost opportunities.
And lost
well, you're at a home trying to put in a few $100s of carpet. There could be a $5,000 home that you missed in your email and went to some other wholesaler.
Exactly. Good point. Yep. Yeah. Missed
Well,
out.
Yeah. The other kicker is, you got lot rent. So, most of the parks that we deal with are $400 to $600. So if you've got a guy going in there and he takes 2 weeks, you're probably staring at another month of lot rent you got to eat. So to me and Dan, we prefer, who's going to pay for that $600? Is you're going to push it on to the customer? Well, they don't like to pay it either. So.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate this. This has been a great call. And these are, again, our deals of the month. There's other deals behind this that you guys don't get to see. But if you're part of EZ Homes University, you get behind the scenes access to what's going on. There's morning Zoom calls where the guys are going through the homes that are available, both amongst one another and amongst the partners that have joined. And so there's some very strategic opportunities. If you have a question of how much should you spend on a home, there's the CRM that's part of EZ Homes University that's built off real data that'll give you what you should be offering to those individuals. So some really great opportunities. If you want to know what all you get with EZ Homes University, again, you go to ezhomesuniversity.com, click on join the webinar, watch the next webinar that's coming up, and just see all that's on there, and you can just walk through that. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, and we'll be sure to follow up with those, and we'll see you all next week.
All right. Sounds great.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.